and welcome back to my channel. My name is Sin, and today I want to talk about Jennifer's Body. Jennifer's Body is a 2009 American comedy written by Diablo Cody, who I love and admire. If you know, you know. And it was directed by Karyn Kusama. It opens with Needy in a psych hospital, and we kind of see that she is a violent person.
More complex carbon.
But she hadn't always been this way. She was a girl from a small town with her friend Jennifer, and they had been like childhood best friends, and they grew up together, did everything together. And although like Jennifer was this like hot popular cheerleader, she was always still just a really good friend to her. One night they go to a dive bar to watch this band. I totally forgot. It catches me by surprise every time I see him, but Chris Pratt is in this movie.
Jennifer, check. Shouldn't poison yourself with that shit.
And his character is hitting on Jennifer. I don't know, she just feels kind of like out of place. Of course, they would go to a dive bar with that name, like Melody's something. I've been to a Melody something dive bar in LA. It was like by LAX, and it definitely gives these vibes for sure. Good things just don't happen in dive bars. So there's this big fire that forces them to leave, and the band, because they were kind of like, she was kind of like flirting with like the band members, were like, hey, you should come with us. And Edie's like, I don't think that's a good idea.
Let's just get out of here. Maybe stop it. Just shut up.
She could just go without saying, like, don't get into indie guys' vans that you saw perform at a dive bar. But some people do need to hear that. Needy is the voice of reason and tells her not to go, but she does go. And she tells her boyfriend, like, we should go get her. Like, we shouldn't just let her be alone with these people. But she eventually does come back, and she, like, this demonic, inhuman kind of screeching sound, and like raids Needy's refrigerator. I love that scene. Here's the thing about Jennifer's Body. In and of itself, it is a rape revenge fantasy. If you've ever watched the film, you know this. You know that's what this is. But obviously, they do it in a way that isn't so blatantly obvious. Rape in this instance is said to be like this sacrificial ritual that the band does to Jennifer to obtain fame, which they do. They do obtain fame.
We come here tonight to sacrifice the body of Jennifer. Do you know how hard it is to make it as an indie band these days?
Why don't you just get a publicist?
She does regain power from being a sacrifice, and in turn starts killing men, boys. And that in and of itself is supposed to be a win for assault victims, right? Like, this is a movie, although it's like based in this sort of like spirituality, that's what it is at its core. And the biggest disservice that the marketing team did for this film was market it as like this sexy Twilight thing for guys. At the time, girls had Twilight, and like they were in love with the vampires, and here these sexy vampires are just like trying to like hook up with high schoolers, and they try to market it that way. But that's not what it is at all. So obviously this film didn't get put in front of its intended audience. That audience that was expecting Megan Fox to just be hot for them for an entire hour and a half were upset because that's not what was marketed to them. And so they tanked the reviews back in the day. And now in 2024, after the Me Too movement, it's now being viewed within the context that it was meant to be viewed from the beginning by an audience that would appreciate it for what it is, which is a revenge fantasy. That's something I love. I loved seeing that trajectory. I'm really saddened that it didn't get the praise it deserved back in the day, but I'm glad it did eventually. So Jennifer comes back, and Needy is obviously worried, but Jennifer's like, I'm better now. Like, what are you even talking about? Just gaslights the fuck out of her. Oh, but I love this scene. This scene is so epic. The panning on the grass, the music, which I can't play for copyright reasons, the cinematography of this film, the soundtrack is just chef's fucking kiss. Just so cool. And she lures one of these football players into the woods and eats him. I love it. And that's like her first victim. She needs to feed, like that's her source of nutrients now. Now that she's not like a human being anymore, she's like this demonic creature. She has to eat people to stay alive. And so she like invites this emo guy to like hang out or something at her house, and he goes, and I just want to say this: if you get invited to someone's house and you pull up to like a whole vacant neighborhood that's completely under construction, why would you still go in there to try to meet this person? I understand like teenagers, their frontal lobe is underdeveloped, but I would like some people to use any level of discernment, even a fraction of common sense. I'm begging. But anyway, he goes in there and she obviously eats him. And at the same time, while this is happening, Needy is trying to like hook up with her boyfriend, and she just can't get into it. And I would be too. Like, if I suspected my best friend of becoming like this demonic man eater, it would be hard for me to get a lady boner too. Personally, I ain't gonna hold her. And then Jennifer appears in Needy's house, and I've been reading online a lot of stuff because, you know, like they're childhood best friends and everything, and they have this like really close relationship. A lot of people are saying that Jennifer was in love with Needy. I don't know how much I believe in that theory. I don't know. It's an interesting angle for sure, and I understand why it might even be based on, because she does like kiss Needy and suspiciously close to Needy and no one else. Anyway, Needy rejects her and she jumps out of a window, because that's how a lot of people deal with rejection. Jennifer reveals that they sacrificed her because they thought she was a virgin for like fame, whatever, but she wasn't. So instead of dying and her soul being completely given to the devil, she was just permanently possessed. She converted into like a demon or something. So now she has to eat people to stay alive. Needy does a little bit of digging and learns that Jennifer needs to keep eating people to stay alive, and she's like picking up that she's only eating guys. So she breaks up with her boyfriend to protect her boyfriend or whatever. And Jennifer she like purposely crosses paths with him on his way to prom, and Needy realizes like that might be her next victim, so she goes after them and finds Jennifer in this like abandoned pool area facility. I don't know. There's a disgusting pool in there. When they get to the abandoned pool, Jennifer's obviously eat Chip, but Needy comes in and they fight.
St. Jude, patron saint of all causes, please give me the power to crush this bitch.
And Chip impales Jennifer in the stomach, and she leaves, but he's too injured, and his subscription to being alive is canceled. And Jennifer's in bed and Needy is hurt and she wants vengeance, so she goes to Jennifer's place to kill her. They fight and we get this epic scene. Needy impales Jennifer, and it's just this amazing like slow-mo perfection. And when Needy unalives Jennifer's mom comes in. Obviously she gets sent to an insane asylum because she just murdered someone. But a lot of people didn't know that Jennifer was possessed by a demon. But when they were like fighting, Jennifer like bit her and transferred some of like her supernatural abilities. And so Needy goes out, she escapes the asylum to kill the band members, which I think that's a true friend right there. Did she kill her best friend? Yes. But in her defense, that wasn't her best friend. That was her best friend possessed by a demon who she had to kill so that the demon couldn't keep using her best friend to kill people. So in truth, she like saved her best friend's life and got revenge for her best friend. So if you really think about it, Needy, she's just a hero at the end of the day. And that is Jennifer's Body. Please let me know if you've seen this film. Also, let me know what your thoughts are on with like the whole theory of like Jennifer being in love with Needy. I personally don't think so, but I'm easily persuaded into thinking things, so I'm curious to read your thoughts. As always, thank you so much for watching. I have so much fun making these videos. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye!